Hi guys, it's Harvey from All Parts. Well, I just ran up in my office to read an email and then I got a phone call. Excellent phone call. Guy was really quite smart. He knew how to figure it out. What he has is he has a C-Spa filter. Okay? Similar to this, it could be two elements. Really doesn't matter. One's a 30 amp, one's a 50 amp. Alright? And it wasn't turning on. He did have a voltmeter and an amp probe, which is excellent. I'll send you a link to, if you don't have a voltmeter or amp probe, to work on your stuff, you need to. But everything in this C-Spa is quite easy. Now, I wish I had a wiring diagram. My theory is where the power stops, the problem lies. Okay? Now, I'm almost positive that voltage goes into the top or the bottom of the contactor. I forget where. So you need to check for voltage at the contactor. Now, basically your thermostat, your pressure switch, your high limit switch is all a safety loop. All right? One continuous loop. You break the loop, you break the voltage. Now, the way I think it runs, there's a jumper wire going, I don't know if this coil is 208 or 110. You got to look on, there's the coil, okay? When this is either got 110 or 220, the coil energizes, sucks that magnet in there, and gives you voltage. And then the voltage goes to the high limit, and added a high limit to your heating element. So this is a safety. I think, now I'm not sure. It's been many years since I worked on these. That's why you need to read this little sticker on the wiring diagram, or will trace your wires. I'm almost positive one lead or two leads. Either this is a 120 or a 240 thermostat. I forget. But you should have voltage going to the stat, and it comes back out and goes to the pressure switch. Now this is the key. This pressure switch, if he happened to have a cartridge filter, which I think is clogged, I recommend to people, if you have a spa and you have a cartridge filter, buy a new virgin cartridge filter. Put it in, clean your pool pump, clean everything out, and make sure your gauge is working properly, and fire it up. If that pressure switch reads 10 pounds, that's where you mark it, okay? That's your basis, is 10 pounds. Anything more than 8 to 10 pounds past that, you either need to clean your filter or you need to buy a new filter. I stock 2 filters on all my jobs because I always clean one out and let it dry, and then hammer out the dirt and clean it again. So this is one big safety loop, okay? I think voltage hits this T-stat first, then goes to your heater, light. The light could be on, but nobody's home because this, if it's not getting the proper pressure with the flow, detecting flow, you could have a bad pressure switch too. I'm not saying you can't. But if it's not detecting flow, it's not going to read. With power off, you can ohm out a lot. This, if you got your pump running, these 2 wires here should read normally closed. Alright, so you should read a dead short. You don't have a read a dead short with voltage off now, pump on, reading a dead short. You either don't have the proper voltage, the proper flow rate, or you got a bad switch. Then going from there, you go to your high limit switch. Going from your high limit switch, you go to either one, well, you would have 2 high limit switches, I think. if it was a dual, then you have 2 wires going to your heater. Now you could have voltage here at your heater, but you're not still heating. That's why I say to have an amp probe. If you are running amperage, you're physically reading amperage, you're creating heat. But if you're just checking for voltage here, you gotta have voltage here, but a bad heating element. So therefore, she isn't going to heat. So if you got voltage up to here, and you got 208 volts or 220 volts, take the wires off. You can ohm them out. The reason why I say I like checking amperage is when I was out in the field, it's not often, but I ohmed out a couple of bad heating elements that ohmed out good, but they read no amperage. That's why I always tell you to make sure you have an amp probe. Okay? Be safe out there. You can trace most of this with the power off. Remember, this is a double pole 30 amp breaker or a double pole 50 amp breaker. But do your safety loops, and remember, never bypass a safety. Never, ever bypass the safety, because what could happen if you bypass the safety, this thing could start cooking and you could have a potential of a bomb. Okay? Safeties are there for your protection. Excellent phone caller. Guy saw my YouTubes. He's out in Florida. Quite knowledgeable. I was quite impressed. I like phone calls like that. And he's going to walk it through. But there it is. I'll send you a link to my amp probe. Well, actually, I'll show you how to get there. If you guys want to do your own work, just scroll down. Okay, scroll down to tools and service. And for the price, this is not a bad amp probe. Okay, this is the guy I recommend. If you want to do your own work, I recommend the amp probe very, very highly. Okay, guys? Again, I'm Harvey from All Parts Pool and Spa. Don't forget, be safe out there. You can work on this. You can work on this heater. Let's see if I can bring it up. You can work on this heater with most of the electric off. You got the electric on, just remember it's either a double pole 30 or a double pole 50. It's a nasty breakage to trip. I tripped many of them, and I don't want to ever trip them again. Take care, guys. Bye.